Okay, good morning. I am Judge Salvia Smith Fox, and I'm here to conduct your first appearance hearings this morning. Let me go ahead and have all of the defendants please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the information you provided on your application of counsel is true and correct? If so, say I do. All right, thank you. You all can put your hands down. Want to go over a few things with you so you understand the nature of these proceedings. I am not here to try your case this morning or to take a plea in your case. Instead, I am here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights that you have, to set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to appoint you an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. During this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The right to indictment by grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. The right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses that are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena, the right to testify and offer other evidence in your defense should you choose to do so, but should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. And at this point, I'm going to appoint an attorney for each one of you. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of the case, which may be cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with applicable mandated fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person that posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Some may post a bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond. All of you will have a special condition on your bond not to violate any new laws while you are out on bond. Some of you will have additional special conditions that may prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to or around certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from calling or having other contact with the victim while you are in jail. Should you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while you are awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing a witness, or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $10,000. For family members who will assist you in posting bond, they will be provided information on your bond amount after this. We have concluded this calendar. If a family member is a victim on the warrant and there is a special condition that they are to have no contact with you, or you are to have no contact with them, then he or she will not be allowed to post the bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set a bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after your probation officer has an opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation, which is usually during your preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you that are charged with misdemeanors only, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your hearing will not affect your right to post bond, your right to have an attorney appointed to represent you if you qualify, or your right to a jury trial. So if you have misdemeanor charges only, you will have the option of having a preliminary hearing here in magistrate court. It would be set for July 14th. Or you have the option to waive that hearing, expedite your case to state court, which means you would be in front of a state court judge faster. If you want to try to resolve your case, plead, talk to a prosecutor, your attorney, you would have that hearing probably in about 2 weeks. So I'll ask you if you want to have the preliminary hearing on July 14th, or if you want to waive that hearing and expedite your case to state court. If you have any felony charges, you will have to speak with an attorney first before you decide whether or not you want to waive your preliminary hearing. I'm going to call each one of you all individually. I think there's a podium or something up there, so I can give you the information on your case. I think I'm going to start with the 3 people in medical. Yes, Altamir Bradford. Are you Mr. Bradford?
This is Ms. Duke.
Ms. Duke, okay. Janisha Dukes. All right. Are you Janisha Dominique Dukes? Is that Ms. Dukes in front of me? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
All right.
She's just not responding.
Okay, Ms. Dukes, you are charged with public indecency. You have a $2,000 signature bond. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are on bond. Since I am giving you a signature bond, I just need for you to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing, and ma'am, you will get your next court date in the mail.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear any of the stuff you said, Ms. Duke.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Dukes, you're charged with public indecency. You have a $2,000 signature bond. Since I am releasing you on a signature bond, I just need for you to sign a waiver of your preliminary hearing, and you will receive your next court date in the mail. You also have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Were you all able to hear me that time?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that's it for Ms. Dukes. She just needs to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing.
Okay. Stay right in the
all right.
This is Mr. Lee.
All right, Tyshawn Lee.
Yes.
All right, Tyshawn, you're charged with battery, family violence. You have a $4,000 bond on that charge. And on the warrant, you were also charged with a felony criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. After I reviewed the warrant, I did not find probable cause for the felony. I dropped it down to the misdemeanor criminal trespass. On that charge, you have a $2,000 bond. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Dajane Stone. The first name is spelled D-A-J-A-N-E-E. Another condition not to return to or go upon the premises located at 5554 Pine Ridge Court in Forest Park, and not to violate any laws while on bond. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I have one question though.
What's your question, sir?
You said stay away from her, but what about the child?
The stay away is just from her. If you all have a child, then you have to work that out. But the battery is against Ms. Stone, so you have to stay away from her. So you may want to I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. So you'll want to consult your attorney about contact if you all have a child together. Do you believe that you will be able to post your $6,000 bond?
Yes.
All right. And would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yeah.
All right. So you'll just need to sign a waiver. Oh, I forgot to ask you, do you understand what you've been charged with, or do you want your charges read to you? Do you want the warrant read to you
The warrant for the
for both of the charges? Do you want it read to you, or do you waive the reading of the charges?
you can read them to me, please.
It says that you intentionally caused physical harm to Dajane Stone, with whom you previously had a romantic relationship with and resided with, by striking Dajane with open hands and closed fists in the residence of Dajane, inflicting swelling to the face and bruising, and by kicking in the front door of Dajane's residence, causing extensive damage to the door frame and locking mechanism. All right, so you'll just need to sign your waiver. All right, thank you, Mr. Lee.
And 1 second, y'all, I'm about to take them back. 1 second.
Okay. Is this Mr. Bradford? All right, is this Altamir Bradford? All right, good morning, sir. You are charged with aggravated battery upon a police officer and simple battery on a police officer. On the aggravated battery, you have no bond set because you are on 3 years probation in Clayton County Superior Court, case number 20 CR 00642. On the simple battery on a police officer, your bond is set at $10,000. Do you waive the formal reading of the charges, or do you want me to read them to you? All right, sir. It says that on June 6th of 2020, you did intentionally cause substantial physical harm and visible bodily harm to Sergeant Anthony Washington, who was employed by the Clayton County Sheriff's Office as a corrections sergeant. The said offender did strike Sergeant Washington in the face with his hand, which caused a black eye, bruising and swelling to his left eye. The said offender is an inmate at the Clayton County Jail, which he knowingly had knowledge that Sergeant Washington was actively engaged in performing his official duties. The said offender maliciously caused bodily harm to Sergeant Washington by depriving him of his left eye. Sergeant Washington had fractures to his left maxillary sinus, left orbital floor, and left nasal bones. Sergeant Washington was not able to open his left eye on his own. Sergeant Washington has bruising to his forehead, right hand, and left hand. Sergeant Washington also had a large cut on his left hand. The said offender declined to speak with me after the Miranda warning. Sir, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is going to be set for, hold on, July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Judge Fox, this is gonna be Miss Gabrielle Green,
Okay,
and then next will be Catrice Jackson, ma'am.
all right.
Miller. And then Thomas.
Are there any other females or is that it?
No, ma'am, that was the only female in medical. This is the first, we have 4 females over on this side, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Miss Green. Good morning. You are charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Devorn Smith and not to violate any laws while on bond. Ma'am, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
Right to me.
It says that on June 6th of 2020, you did commit the act of battery by repeatedly striking the victim, Devorn Smith, with both open and closed fists, causing visible bodily injury to the right forearm, as well as the victim's neck. This was an act of family violence. Ma'am, do you believe you will be able to post the $4,000 bond?
The whole 4,000?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay, and ma'am, would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
I'm sorry.
Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
No.
All right, it will be set for July 14th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, ma'am.
And I have a question.
What's your question, ma'am?
You said I have to stay away from him
Yes,
for how long? Until the hearing?
yes, ma'am. And I've appointed an attorney to represent you so they can kind of give you some further directions on that. But if you were to violate that stay away order, you can be rearrested. Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Green, go with the deputy. Ms. Jackson, step on up to the podium.
Patrice Jackson.
Female, please tell Ms. Jackson.
Who's after Ms. Jackson?
After Ms. Jackson will be Ms. Miller.
Miller. Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Jackson, you are charged with motor vehicle hijacking. You have no bond set on this charge. It will have to be set by a superior court judge, and robbery, and you have no bond on that charge. There's a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Stenberg Langley. Also, not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Your preliminary hearing is set for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. And your bond hearing is set for July 17th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. And ma'am, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Thank you, ma'am.
I have a lawyer. I have a lawyer already.
Okay. Well, once they file an entry of appearance, then your court-appointed attorney will be relieved from representing you. Thank you, ma'am.
I got another.
Onika Miller.
Hold on, Ms. Jackson, go over there. I'll use your question. Go back over there.
And after Ms. Miller will be Faith Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Miller. You are charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You have no bond on that charge. Criminal damage in the second degree, you have a $5,000 bond. And simple battery, you have a $5,000 bond. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Jamal Lucas, and also not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Ma'am, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
Read them to me, please.
All right, for the aggravated, well, for the simple battery, says on June 5th, 2020 at 121 Old Mill Court in Atlanta, you did intentionally make physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature with the victim, Jamal Lucas, during a verbal altercation. The accused used a closed fist to punch the victim in the back of the head while downstairs. When the incident relocated to the upstairs bedroom, the accused used her hands and body momentum to push the victim into the wall, causing damage. The victim and the accused are in a relationship. For the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, June 5th, 2020, at 121 Old Mill Court in Atlanta. You did commit the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon by making an assault upon the victim, Jamal Lucas, with an object, a kitchen knife, which, when used offensively against another person, is likely to result in serious bodily injury. During a physical altercation, the accused inserted a knife into the left side of the victim's abdomen. The knife blade was inserted approximately 1 inch and caused a deep open wound with minimal blood. And then for the criminal damage to property, same date and address. Said accused did intentionally damage the property of the victim, Jamal Lucas. Without said owner's consent, the accused pushed the victim into the bedroom wall, which placed a hole in the wall, said damage exceeding $500. All right, ma'am, your preliminary hearing is set for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, ma'am.
Go, Ms. Miller. The next is gonna be Faith Thomas. Come up.
Faith Thomas.
Yes, ma'am. Thomas, please, ma'am. And speak loud.
All right, good morning, ma'am. You're charged with aggravated assault. Your bond is $20,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Jamarco trailer and not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I heard him read already.
All right. And ma'am, your preliminary hearing is set for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, we got, who you said, Boston?
Marcus Austin.
Yeah, he's coming up right now, Judge.
All right. After Mr. Austin will be Tavius Baugh. All right, good morning. Are you Mr. Austin?
I am, yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are charged with a stop sign violation, a $500 bond, driving on a suspended or revoked license, $1,500 bond, possession of marijuana, 1 ounce or less, $1,500 bond, no insurance, $1,000 bond, and an open container violation, it's a $500 bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I'm okay. I got this.
Okay. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you believe that you will be able to post your bond on these charges, sir?
But a bail bondsman, if I
You
could,
think you're going to be able to post your bond?
how much is it altogether? I wasn't able to add how much it was gonna be altogether. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to add. I heard the numbers, but I wasn't able to add how much it was all gonna be together to let me assume if I was gonna be able to post it or not.
$5,000.
So that would be like a $500 bond or $600 bond?
You'd have to contact the bonding company to get the specific amount.
Yes, I think I should be able to post it.
Okay, and sir, do you want to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, I don't. I never waived it before, so I don't think I.
Okay, I'm gonna set it for July 14th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. If you bond out before that date, that hearing will be waived and you'll get your next court date in the mail. All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, please face Mr. Come up, Mr. Bob. Next is Tavius Bob.
Yep, Tavius Bob, and after Mr. Bob, Carrie Clark.
Yep.
All right, Good morning, sir.
You know,
Mr. Ball, you are charged with violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Your bond is $5,000. And possession of a weapon during a crime, your bond is $10,000 on that charge. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I want them read to me because that's not what
Right. It says on June 6, 2020, the offender did have in his possession of his vehicle a field-tested sample of MDMA, marijuana, and a firearm during a road safety check organized by Lieutenant Santiago and supervised by Sergeant Deaton. The offender was stopped to check for his license. While at the vehicle, a strong odor of marijuana was detected. The offender was asked to exit the vehicle, at which time the offender produced approximately 2 grams of marijuana from his pocket. During the search, a firearm was located in the center console and
that narcotic about.
sir, this is not, I'm just reading you your charges. All right, so you'll have an opportunity to have a hearing with an attorney and all of that.
Okay.
The pill-like substances were discovered on a vehicle shelf under the radio. Said offender admitted after being Mirandized that the marijuana and firearm was his. The offender's vehicle was a 2004 GMC Yukon, and it has the tag number, I think, PNZ 3523. Sir, okay, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you believe you'll be able to post your $15,000 bond?
I should throw bail.
All right, and your preliminary hearing is going to be set for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next,
Harry Clark, and after Mr. Clark, Timothy Cox.
and then after that is Timothy Cox. Judge Fox, Mr. Cox has some mental health issues, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
I got it. All right, Mr. Clark, you are charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Quintana Jones. Also not to return to or go upon the premises located at 2940 Anvil Block Road in Ellenwood. If you have any personal property at that location, sir, you can contact the sheriff's office, get an appointment to get an escort who will take you back to the property one time to get your personal belongings. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
You had already read them to me, right?
Do you want the warrant read to you? Or do you know what you're charged with?
So I know what I'm charged with, ma'am.
Okay, and sir, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you believe you'll be able to post your $4,000 bond?
Yes, how much do I pay off of 4,000?
You'd have to contact the bonding company and they would give you the specific amount.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I want to try to bond out. I don't know, but I would like to try to bond out so I can have a.
All right. So what will happen is, and if you bond out, the hearing is automatically waived. So you'll just need to sign a waiver, and then your next court date after you bond out, you'll receive that in the mail. Okay, sir?
Yes, I would like to go to 2-week court.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Okay, come on.
All
All right. So they'll have you sign a waiver. Thank you, sir.
Come on, Mr. Cox. Next is Mr. Timothy Cox.
All right. And after Mr. Cox will be Thomas Crothers. All right. Good morning, Mr. Cox. You are charged with aggravated assault, and which is a $10,000 bond, and battery, a $4,000 bond. Sir, you have a special condition to stay away from Willie Bodie. Also, not to return to or go upon the premises located at 5930 Highway 85, Building 500 in Riverdale. If you need to get any personal belongings, you can contact the sheriff's office to get an escort to take you back to the property. The warrant says on June 6th that you did with intent to stab the victim, Willie Bodie, in the back twice during a verbal argument with a knife, which is a deadly weapon. And then the offender grabbed the victim, wrestled him to the ground, causing minor scratches until they were separated by bystanders. Sir, your preliminary hearing will be held on July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. And I've appointed an attorney to represent you.
Okay, next is Mr. Carruthers.
Yes, Thomas Crothers and then Daniel Garduno.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, sir. You are charged with simple battery. Your bond is $3,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Ramona Crothers, not to return to or go upon the premises located at 6001 Trammell Road, apartment 33A, 136 in Morrow, and not to violate any laws while on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I want them read to me.
It says on June 6, 2020, the offender did admit to snatching his wife, Ramona Crothers, LG black cell phone out of her hand and got into a physical altercation with her by pushing the victim to the ground. The offender stated that the victim hit her hand on the ground. There were no injuries on the victim. This is family violence since they are married. The incident happened in Clayton County. Sir, do you believe that you will be able to post your $3,000 bond?
Yes.
All right, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
No.
All right, sir, it will be set for July 14th and at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. If you bond out before that date, that hearing will automatically be waived and you'll get your next court date in the mail. Thank you, sir. Daniel Garduno, and then next will be Remarcus Harper. All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, you are charged with driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond is $1,500. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I'll waive it.
All right. And sir, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you believe you'll be able to post your bond, sir?
Yes.
Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. They will have a waiver form for you to sign. Thank you, sir. All right, Remarcus Harper, and after Mr. Harper will be Tung Lai.
Okay, Mr. Lai is gonna need a Vietnamese interpreter, so he's gonna have to go last with the other gentleman.
Okay. So I need a Spanish and then a Vietnamese interpreter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then after Mr. Harper will be Christopher Maddox. All right, Mr. Harper, good morning. Sir, you are charged with obstructing an officer. You have a $2,000 bond. Charged with simple battery, family violence. You have no bond set on that charge because you are on 12 months probation in Clayton County State Court. Case number 2019 CR 02202. Theft by receiving stolen property, no bond because of the probation. Possession of a firearm by a felon, no bond because of the probation. Giving a false name, address, or date of birth, you have a $1,500 bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
What's the difference?
If you know what you're charged with, you can just waive it. If you want to hear it, then I'll read the warrant to you.
You just did. You just told me my charges.
I told you the charges, but I didn't read the warrant. Do you want me to read the warrant or do you already know the substance of your charges?
Yeah, I bet you know it. Yeah. It don't matter.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me see. Sir, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. And your preliminary hearing is set for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
That's for the other charges? For the new charges?
Yeah, your preliminary hearing is July 13th
The gun and stuff like that, right?
for all the charges.
All charges.
Okay, come on, Mr. Harper. Please face my son. Don't try to face the wall. Face the wall. This should be Maddox. This is Christopher Maddox.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Maddox. And then next will be Calvin Mallett. Mr. Maddox, you are charged with driving with no license.
Yes,
I'm not sure if you never had a license or if you just didn't have it on you or what the situation is, but sir, I'm going to give you a $1,000 signature bond. You can kind of avoid this situation by making sure that if you are driving, you have a valid driver's license and you have it on your person. You will have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, I will be appointing an attorney to represent you. And since I'm releasing you on a signature bond, I need you to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing and you will receive your next court date in the mail. All right? Thank you, sir. All right, and then Calvin Mallett, and after Mr. Mallett will be David Patterson.
Calvin Mallett.
All right, good morning, Mr. Mallett. Sir, you are charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, a $5,000 bond, parking violation, $500 bond, impeding traffic, $500 bond, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, $5,000 bond, no insurance, $1,000 bond, crossing the guard line with drugs, $5,000 bond, and possession of marijuana 1 ounce or less, $1,500 bond. You'll have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I waive them.
All right. And sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you believe you will be able to post your bond on these charges, sir?
Hopefully.
Okay. And sir, I'm going to set a preliminary hearing for you. It will be set for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, David Patterson, and after Mr. Patterson will be Victor Rivera. All right, good morning, sir. You're charged with theft by taking. Your bond is $10,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
Well, I can't get a copy of them. My attorney, can he get a copy?
No, I can't give you a copy right now, but do you want me to read the warrant to you?
If you want to, because I never knew anything about the warrant. I'm bruised.
Okay.
Yes.
So it says on March 6th, 2020 at 16 Forest Parkway, Building 30 in Forest Park, that you committed the offense of theft by taking $19,000, the property of your former employer, Bruce's Best, with a value of $1,500 or greater, did take the $19,000 from the business account of Bruce's Best with the intent to deprive said owner of said property. Sir, do you believe, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. If you have one, that's fine. Once they file an entry of appearance in the case, then the court-appointed attorney will be relieved. But I just want to make sure you have an attorney.
The bond, I got my, right?
Yeah, so you have a $10,000 bond. Do you think you'll be able to post that bond, sir?
Girlfriend for 6 years and know what the bond company now, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and your preliminary hearing, I'm gonna set it for July 13th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. If you bond out before July 13th, that hearing will automatically be waived and you'll get your next court date in the mail.
Bobby bonded out today, right?
If she, yeah, I mean, if someone bonds you out, but yes,
Yeah, okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Next is Victor Rivera.
Victor Rivera and then Boston Rouse.
Okay, Vic, this is Mr. Can you do Mr. Rouse first?
Okay. You're Boston Rouse?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge,
All right.
Judge Fox.
Yes.
Victor Rivera is out on bond.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this
Okay.
is Boston Rouse.
Out on bond. All right. Mr. Rouse, you are charged with possession of marijuana, 1 ounce or less, and possession of a weapon during a crime. After reviewing the warrant, I denied the possession of a weapon during a crime since you only had a misdemeanor amount of marijuana. So you only have 1, which was a felony charge. So now you have that 1 remaining misdemeanor marijuana charge. So your bond on that charge is $1,500. And you have a special condition not to violate any laws while on bond.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Would I get my gun back since it was in my name?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's still a part of your case, but I'm gonna appoint an attorney to represent you. But I'm dismissing the charge, but I'm not dealing with any of the property or evidence in the case,
All
okay? And if it were a felony amount of marijuana, then you would still have that charge. So if something happens with the case, then, you know, that will be up to the prosecutors. But from what I see with this misdemeanor amount, I'm dismissing that charge. So do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want the warrant read to you?
You can read it.
All right, it says on June 6, 2020, Terra Boulevard at Lovejoy Road in Hampton, you had in your possession or control 11.5 grams of a green leafy substance, suspected marijuana, which was in your black book bag at your feet. Rouse was a rear seat passenger in a vehicle stopped for speeding. Rouse did also have in his control a semi-automatic rifle. It has a serial number, which was at his feet, loaded with a 100-round drum magazine. This took place in Hampton, Clayton County, Georgia. So, sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you believe you will be able to post your bond?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing?
If I post bond, right? Yeah.
If you post bond, it's automatically waived. All right, so you want to waive it? So they will have a waiver form for you to sign. And then, sir, after you bond out, you'll get your next court date in the mail.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
What's your name is and what you want to do?
Hello, my name is Bonifacio, Bonifacio.
That's Mr. Echeverria, ma'am. He's saying that he'll be able to understand you a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good morning, sir. You are charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are on bond. I'm going to allow you to have contact with your wife, Christy Ambrosio, but that contact, it cannot be violent or harassing. Do you understand that?
I understand.
No violent contact. You can't harass her. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you think you can post your $2,000 bond?
I believe so. I probably am gonna have to do some calls, but I think so. Did you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear her.
Hello, Judge.
I can hear her.
Hold on.
Huh?
Once you hear Mr. Echeverria. Point to your ear, point to your ear. Then I can't shake your head no. There you
Okay.
go. All right, we hear you.
Okay, now I hear you now. Oh, do you think you can post your $2,000 bond?
I was saying that I probably gonna have to do a call.
Okay.
I think so.
For your preliminary hearing, do you want to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yeah.
All right, they'll have a waiver form for you to sign. And let me see, I appointed an attorney. Let's see. Oh, I think that's it. So they will have a waiver form for you to sign. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the last one is Mr. Lee, L.Y. That's the one we need to Vietnamese interpreter for me.
Okay, let me get my phone and call an interpreter. Good morning, sir.
Morning, my name is Tang Thanh Lee.
Oh, he's speaking.
Can you understand
Speak
it?
a little bit
Oh, he said he speaks English.
Vietnamese.
He says he understands a little bit, Judge Fox.
Right. Right. Yeah, as soon as I got here, I was like, this is good.
Vietnamese. Yes.
I'll be the Vietnamese interpreter today. Is the customer there with you?
I actually have him on Zoom. This is Judge Fox in Magistrate Court. I just need to inform him of what he's charged with and what his bond amount is.
Certainly.
His name
introduce
is Tung, T-U-N-G, last name Lee, L-Y.
Thank you. I will introduce myself to him and come back to you for more instruction.
Okay.
Thank you. Vâng, xin chào ạ. Tôi sẽ là thông dịch viên tiếng Việt cho cuộc gọi ngày hôm nay ạ. Cuộc gọi này có thể được theo dõi trên mục đích huấn luyện và đảm bảo chất lượng ạ. Xin cảm ơn ạ. Thank you for your patience. I'm ready for the instruction now.
All right. Mr. Lee, you are charged with battery, family violence.
Yeah. Vâng, anh đã bị phạt bởi vì bạo lực trong gia đình ạ.
Yes.
Your bond is $4,000.
Vâng, cái tiền phạt của anh là 4.000 đô.
Yeah.
You have a special condition to stay away from Deo, which is the first name D-A-O, last name Depp, D-I-E-P.
Dạ vâng, và anh có một cái điều kiện đặc biệt và chỉ cần phải tránh xa giao dịch.
Okay, and that's his wife.
Vâng, đó là vợ của anh ạ.
Yeah.
All right, the warrant indicates that on May 27th, 2020, at 573 Watson Ferry Drive in Forest Park, that you committed the offense of battery family violence.
Vâng, và vào ngày 27 tháng 5 của năm 2020 vào lúc 5 giờ 3 phút ở địa chỉ Lo Ferry Drive, anh đã vi phạm anh đã vi phạm vào việc bạo hành gia đình ạ.
The warrant indicates that you did intentionally cause visible bodily harm to your wife, Dale Depp.
Vâng, và cái vi phạm này là bởi vì anh đã cố ý và có thể thấy được bằng mắt là anh đã hành hung vợ mình Cô Đào đi vậy.
All right, said offender struck his wife in the head with a closed fist, leaving swelling and bruising on her forehead.
Vâng, và ở đây nói rằng là người hành hung đã đánh vợ bằng nắm tay ở trên đầu và để lại vết sưng và bầm ở trên trán của cô ấy.
And sir, you have a special condition on your bond to stay away from your wife, Dale Depp.
Vâng, và anh có một cái điều kiện đặc biệt ở trên cái tiền phạt của anh là sẽ cần phải tránh xa vợ của mình, cô Đào gì vậy.
You are also prohibited from having any contact with her.
Vâng, và anh cũng sẽ bị cấm tiếp xúc với cô ấy ạ.
Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Anh có hiểu việc này không ạ?
Yes. Có thể cho em nói được không ạ?
Can I say something?
Not right now. If you have anything to say about the case, you'll have to speak with your attorney about it.
Không phải là bây giờ, nếu mà anh có bất kỳ vấn đề gì mà cần phải nói về cái hồ sơ này thì anh sẽ cần phải nói với lại luật sư của mình ạ.
Yeah.
All right, sir, you also will not be able to return to or go upon the premises located at 573 Watson Ferry Drive in Forest Park.
Dạ vâng, và anh cũng sẽ không được quay lại cái nơi mà cái nơi mà mình đã hành hung, tức là ở địa chỉ 573 Watson Ferry Drive.
Yeah.
And sir, if you have to retrieve any personal belongings from the residence, you can schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office to take you back one time to get your personal belongings.
Vâng, và nếu mà anh cần lấy bất kỳ cái tài sản cá nhân nào ở cái địa chỉ này thì anh sẽ cần phải đặt lịch hẹn với lại một viên cảnh sát để họ có thể đưa anh tới đó một lần để lấy những cái vật dụng cá nhân của mình ạ.
Yeah.
And sir, you also have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond.
Vâng, và anh cũng có một cái điều kiện đặc biệt nữa là sẽ không được bất tuân thủ cái luật pháp nào trong thời hạn trong thời hạn đang bị giám sát này ạ.
And sir, I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
Vâng, và chúng tôi sẽ chỉ định một người luật sư để có thể đại diện cho.
Sir, do you believe you will be able to post your $4,000 bond?
Vâng, và anh có nghĩ rằng là mình sẽ có thể trả được cái tiền phạt $4,000 không ạ?
Yeah.
All right. And sir, you have the option of having a preliminary hearing in magistrate court on July 14th, or you can waive that hearing.
Vâng, và bản thân anh sẽ có cái lựa chọn là tham dự cái phiên tòa vào ngày 14 của tháng 7, hoặc là anh cũng có thể chọn bãi bỏ phiên tòa này.
If you waive that hearing, you'll have a hearing in about 2 weeks in state court.
Vâng, nếu mà anh bỏ cái phiên tòa đó thì anh sẽ có một phiên tòa khác sẽ vào khoảng 2 tuần, trong vòng 2 tuần sau ở tòa án của tiểu bang.
And if you bond out, that preliminary hearing will automatically be waived and you will get your next court date in the mail.
Vâng, và nếu mà cái thời hạn phạt của anh nó bị hết thì cái phiên tòa này nó sẽ tự động bị bãi bỏ và anh thì nhận được một lá thư trong việc bưu điện cho anh biết cái ngày phiên tòa tiếp theo ạ.
So, sir, do you want to waive your preliminary hearing?
Vâng, vậy anh có muốn bãi bỏ cái phiên tòa của mình không ạ?
Giờ em cũng không biết về cái vụ tòa, em không biết nữa như thế nào. Tòa quyết định cho em.
Don't know how the preliminary hearing would be.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set your hearing for July 14th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201.
Vâng, vậy thì cái việc mà tôi sẽ làm là tôi sẽ tiếp tục cho anh đặt cái thực hiện tham dự phiên tòa này vào ngày 17 của tháng 7 vào lúc 8 giờ sáng. Xin lỗi, ngày 14 của tháng 7 vào lúc 8 giờ sáng ạ.
And your attorney can speak with you further about the hearing.
Dạ vâng, và cái luật sư của anh sẽ nói với anh thêm về cái tòa án này ạ.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, and thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
You're very welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too as well. Bye.
Hey, Judge, did you get the information on email?
On email? You sent me an email?
Yeah, we had a clerk send you the attorney forms and the waiver form.
Okay, hold on. Let me go on and check my email.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I did get something.
Okay.
Yep, so I will, hold on. That's all we have, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Yeah, so I just got to sign these forms and then I'll email everything back.
All right, thanks a lot, Judge.
All right, thank you all. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.